Hi, shalom everyone, a special treat today. We are going to tour Bayit V'Gan inside the area itself here in Jerusalem, and let's explore some of the sights and scenes over here, friends. Enjoy. First of all, right outside the Bayit V'Gan Sephardi over here, the great Sephardi synagogue over here in Bayit V'Gan. It's got a beautiful entrance there. Over there happens to be the entrance of Bayit V'Gan. If you go down here, and happens to be some synagogues. If you go down here, obviously, if you go right back down outside the Bayit V'Gan, you're right next to the Yad Vashem area, and quite near Mount Hertz also. But let's start walking around the area over here, some of the inner street scenes, and it's just the best feeling to just walk around and explore Jerusalem. Over here, friends, we've got a small Merkaz shopping area here. You see a lot of a few small supermarkets here. Happens to be a fruit shop, greengrocers. Got a Shabbat food place over here. Just get the specs on as we explore Bayit V'Gan. As you can see, there are a lot of adverts for the Sephardi synagogue there. They host like a famous slichot where they have a professional chazan. See, beautiful Israeli flag outside an apartment building over here. These are more oldish style apartments here. That's definitely one thing for sure. This street itself is called the Bayit V'Gan Street. So nothing beats walking around Israel, especially in Jerusalem. I love walking around Jerusalem also. It's very, very quiet at the moment. These roads happen to be. Just across the road here. A lot of these streets are named after rabbis over here in this area. Now what's interesting is we've got Ma'alot Eliyahu Frankel over here, happens to be here. I'm not sure if he's a rabbi, or probably said if he was. See some cyclists here. Just exploring Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, here this early morning. We're in the Bayit V'Gan Street, friends, over here. Now we've got a famous site over here. Whenever there's a blue board over here, there's some significance to the actual place itself. It says, what is this, friends? Okay, friends, this is a Ben Shimon house over here, built by the merchant Masoud Ben Shimon, who was one of the neighborhood's founders. His initials are scribed at the entrance. The two-story building with unique architectural elements was different from the one-story houses built at the time, currently divided into several flats. So this is obviously another famous area here in the vicinity. This building. Continuing, we just came from this famous house over here, the Ben Shimon house. Let's continue. Now, once again, this is Rabbi Eliyahu Lopez Street. He happens to be a famous rabbi. I think he was a chief rabbi, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe of Yeshivat Porat Yosef, which is, let's say, the bastion of the Sephardic yeshivot here in Israel, the famous ones. As we keep walking, friends, amazing. Here in Bayit V'Gan, it's situated quite near Beit Kerem neighborhood, quite near Yafei, quite near Yad Vashem. If you just walk back down there, everything in Jerusalem is close to each other. So it's very, very easy to walk around the different places. We've already done probably about 80 tours at least in Jerusalem, different parts, neighborhoods. So we haven't really done many in Bayit V'Gan, so I thought today will definitely be an opportune time. One of the goals is to have walked every meter possible here in Jerusalem. We've got a couple of stores over here. It's a beautiful walk here on this Sunday morning. We just came out of Shabbat yesterday, which is also known as Parshat Ki Tetzeh. We're coming to Ki Tavo. Okay, this is the Bayit V'Gan Street over here. Nice, beautiful Israeli flag here. Over here. A welcoming entrance. Looks like there's a yeshiva here of some sort. A Talmudic Torah learning. But I'm not too sure. You can hear the sounds of Torah learning. As we progress, exploring Jerusalem. It is a bit hot, but it's definitely worth it. The aim is to go to Tiferet Yeshiva here. Bayit V'Gan is quite big itself, so there's a main high street here. There's a lot of places, especially in this vicinity over here. So we're just exploring the different parts. See apartment buildings here. There's views of the towers of Jerusalem just from there. You get. It's good exercise also. I was told about a year or two ago that I should really maybe take cholesterol tablets, but the doctor told me at the time walking an hour a day is a substitute for it. So I'm achieving this walking, but by walking here the different streets of Jerusalem. So my doctor will be proud to know that. So, it seems like a makolet over here. You can see different Israeli Bisley advertised there. Just another street scene over here. As we explore Jerusalem, Magen David Adom car over here. They have a lot of charity boxes all over the place here, which we have to point out. Okay, this has a special entrance here to something. Let's check this out. Okay, better wait. Seems Dr. Ziv Bergman, dentist, happens to be a Dr. Mem Chakmati, also, I think, an expert dentist over here. Looks very chashuv the way it's been presented. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now we've got another nice synagogue over here. Looks very beautiful from the outside. It's called Beit Knesset Ohel Yaakov over here. Now, I'd like to know more. I love learning about all different synagogues in Jerusalem. Who started the video on the Great Sephardi Synagogue. Now, which strand is this belong to? Which will be interesting to know. Okay, this is the synagogue itself. לא, אני רק מסובב. זה בכנסת ספרדי? Okay. Well, מצוין. Here, this happens to be a Sephardi synagogue over here, Ohel Yaakov. So I think it's a very strong Sephardi neighborhood here in Bayit V'Gan, if I'm not mistaken. As we continue the street, walking around here. Gonna try and get to the Frank Street, Harav Frank Street over here. Now you've got Nishmat Yisrael Yeshiva over here. You've got, it's called Nishmat Yisrael. I don't know if it's for, yeah, I'd assume it's for probably teenagers. To explore. And now you've got Beit Yaakov Chadash. There's a girls' seminary, a school over here called Beit Yaakov. Once again, I'm not too sure which kind of Beit Yaakov it is. There's Ashkenazic ones and Sephardic ones. So I'd probably assume it's a Sephardi one connected to the Spanish rites, because just a neighborhood. Generally, it seems like it's all the synagogues that happen to be that, but that will have to be confirmed. There's some beautiful fruits growing. Got another. Okay, Rabbi Abraham Chet Shag Street over here. Another one. He was one of the founders of Tnuat Mizrahi in Eretz Israel. Very interesting. You can see you've got a pathway over here that leads to another area. Some more street scenes here. Now we've got a beautiful park we're coming towards. Continuing, we're in the street, and now we've got over here a beautiful park over here in Bayit V'Gan. If you go down here, a very, very large park. Nothing beats the parks of Israel, friends. Looks like there's a small sand park now. No, it looks like a spider web climbing frame. You've got swings, got a place to sit, picnic, archaeology, everything, friends, over here. As we continue this tour, in-depth tour of Bayit V'Gan, friends, over here. Okay, let's continue. Walking the street, another area, neighborhood. So this is a more modern building, as you can see. Small housings. As we continue walking around here. Now we've got a Magen LaCholeh. This looks more like a doctor's surgery over here. Choleh means someone that's not feeling well. They've got an ambulance also here. You can see with the Magen David in a very small symbol over here. Magen LaCholeh building. As we're just exploring Bayit V'Gan. Many different sites here. Okay, now we've got the Ma'alot Zevi La Tzadik over here. This happens to be. You go to the right, you've got more places over here. Oh, you've got like a Jewish bookstore here. I wonder if we're actually in America's main America's shopping area here. That'll be interesting. So we're just exploring Bayit V'Gan this morning. Many different sites here. סליחה, רחוב הרב פרנק, זה למעלה?
נגביל.
אה?
מעלה.
אוקיי.
אתה רואה את הכיכר?
כן.
אתה רואה טיפה?
אז זה שם, אוקיי.
איזה מספר?
זה ישיבת תפארת, אני רוצה. 20.
זהו.
אוקיי, אז אני הולך שמאלה עד הכיכר. כן?
איזה תפארת?
תפארת. זה אמריקנים.
זה אמריקנים.
אוקיי.
כשאתה תגיע
כן.
לפארק, אז זה...
Okay, זה רחוב פרנק, תודה. Okay, so we're just going to go on a tangent over here. So we explored the Bayit V'Gan street, which is definitely good, which we wanted. Now we're going to see, it looks like more of a shopping area now we are in. This must be a synagogue, or looks like a large Beit Midrash. I don't come the best prepared when I'm doing a tour, friends. I usually take the phone and just film. It looks like this is like the main shopping area. We've actually walked around here and filmed it before. I think when I started the videos about 2 years ago. A famous popular bookstore in Israel is called Yafei Nof Feldheim. This is Ma'alot Zevi La Tzadik. It's got the Hapiska street over it. It's beautiful. It's the highway. I think this is definitely a good first tour of the area to do. Of Bayit V'Gan. This Hapiska street, I think it's a famous street here in Bayit V'Gan. And this is a roundabout. I think on this note we will conclude. We did explore the whole street of Bayit V'Gan street and different sites and things. Wish you all a fantastic day, friends. Thank you everyone for watching and enjoy.